One of the remarkable things about this is you're going to get a major hurricane on the west coast. It's going to move 150 miles or so all across Florida, and then you're going to get a hurricane on the east coast as well.
Right. This is going to cut right across the state, but whoever's near the center of this storm going to have life-changing impacts, especially on the west central coast as this makes landfall here, Blake. Lots of tornadoes touching down. I just checked at least 20 reports. You can see here on our Doppler radar over the last hour where those reports indicated. The tornado warnings are hugging the east coast of Florida right now. That band should move offshore here, and we're putting that threat at least away here in the near term. Look to the left, though. This is the center of the circulation that we've all been waiting for. The eye wall here, which we've been indicated by the National Hurricane Center, is at its worst on the north side, which would be the Tampa side of this storm if it continues on its current path. Again, we still have some wiggle room for a wobble here or there, but losing time as this continues to race to the northeast at 15 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center also expecting a slowdown. They haven't seen that yet, but the models are indicating that, which could cause a turn to the right, or we still could see this right on top of Tampa. Category 3, 120 mile per hour winds. We have that tornado watch till 9 this evening for much of the peninsula south of Orlando. Let's get to that path. Notice it's not a straight line. It has some wobbles back and forth. That's why we could still see a little bit of a shift left or right. How about the cone? Still encompassing most of Pinellas County as far north as around Clearwater, all of Tampa, and down through Sarasota. What that means is the center of the storm, even though they do their best to forecast right through the middle of where that's going to happen, could be as far to the left as Pinellas, as far to the south as Sarasota, making landfall as a Category 3, winds possibly above 110 miles per hour. And there you go, as Blake was saying, still hurricane strength farther inland, and that's why we have all those warnings. I want to end on this storm surge, though. Again, serious threat. 9 to 13 feet is the updated forecast now for the worst of it, mainly south of Tampa Bay. So that's a good sign for Tampa Bay, but still not in the clear yet with 6 to 9 foot storm surge possible there. And Blake, I got to say, personal for me. I got a lot of family in the Tampa Bay region. It's too late for them to evacuate. They weren't under any mandatory evacuations, but now it looks like that eye wall on the worst of the winds could hit them. What we're being told from the Hurricane Center is this moves ashore. If you are in that eye wall, if you start hearing those winds really howl, get to the most interior room of your house that doesn't have any windows. And if you do have a mattress, maybe putting that above you. Again, if the worst were to happen and you were to get debris coming at you, that would be the best way to protect you. So it's pretty much the same precautions you were taking in an actual tornado, as these are going to be tornado strength winds. Again, 120 miles per hour is what we're expecting sustained at the center of this.
Max, back to those tornadoes for a second. Obviously, with any hurricane, you have tornadic activity, and much of that of Florida right now is under a tornado warning in many of the counties. This was the scene earlier today, though, on the eastern part of the state, southeast Florida. How did we get that earlier today, and how worried are you, concerned tonight about tornadoes, no matter where they might form in Florida?
So as we started the day off, there was an increased risk of tornadoes compared to what a normal hurricane looks like. This is an elevated threat, and that's because of the massive size of the storm and, again, the quick rotation as well. So, I mean, about a dozen or two tornadoes already reported. We have a couple more warnings on the east side of the state. That should exit, but again, that watch, the threat for the tornadoes, as I zoom this back out, does go till 9 p.m. for everyone south of the I-4 corridor. The exception is going to be closer to the center, but we're putting that tornado threat away closer to the center of the storm and then actually having to deal with those straight line winds that, again, could be as powerful as a tornado too. So a devastating situation near the center of the storm system, though, again, we're feeling impacts far and wide through those feeder bands across the state. Max
Tsaparis, NewsNation meteorologist. Max, best of luck to your family tonight, and of course to all of those, your friends, your family, and of course those in that area. Max, thank you. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.